All right, now we're going to be looking at how to affect our opponent's structure from really up close. So it's quite frequent that people aren't, especially in the gym, too diligent on stopping us from being able to, say, get like an underhook or getting super close. So if we're in some position like this in side control, ignoring the fact that this isn't a proper crossface, but I'm within this position, or here I'm in close, there aren't frames in my way anymore. I've now solidified the position, and I want to start looking at actually advancing through positions, mount, back control, or a submission. How do I actually create vulnerability from here? I have an underhook, but it's pretty cosmetic right now. I do have some control, obviously, but if Kevin just keeps his elbow nice and tight to his body, I'm actually not really affecting him here. This elbow's in pretty nice and tight, framing up against my body. His posture is fine, and he's in base. So because we're looking at structure, we're going to be seeing about how we can affect this. This frame can actually cause me some issues. I can take this hand and I can look to access the elbow as a lever. You can grab the gi, but the gi is not actually going to be the very end of the lever. I would prefer grabbing right at the actual elbow point and getting it just right here at the web of my knuckles. So then I can start opening this up, bringing my arm in. This is classic Jiu-Jitsu 101. There's a lot of YouTube videos on this. The reason why it works is because there's a frame into my hip. I'm redirecting it into a lever and controlling it here. If his elbow is up against my hip here, where my head is now up against his ear, we can see now that it's just being accessed as a lever. It's no good for him at this point. And this is creating vulnerability that's gonna allow me to be successful attacking Kevin. Another one I'm able to do is redirect by detaching, bringing my arm over, my leg over top of his arm. By bringing my leg over top of his arm, once again, redirecting as a lever. If I stay super tight to him here, and I keep weight into his leg or into his arm with my hips, and I try and get on top, I'm not going to be able to. So I disengage. I can use this arm to help me with accessing this arm as a lever. You can even push down the wrist. You can push down at the bicep here at the elbow. This is me accessing his body as a lever with a frame. Bring this over top. Once again, controlling his arm as a lever. For the underhook, I don't want to be trying to just drive my arm up into his armpit. If he keeps his elbow nice and tight right now, just doing this isn't actually going to be doing anything. I want to be accessing the lever of the shoulder down here by the elbow. So whether I had cross face or I'm over top like this, I need to make sure that my bicep is going to be colliding into his elbow here. This is what's going to allow me to actually open his arm up away from his body. Once again, even just by driving halfway in between, right as his bicep, if he keeps his elbow nice and tight, it's going to be extremely hard for me to actually have a mechanical advantage against him. Down by the elbow though, now I can actually start opening them up. You'll see people do this, and it's a classic thing where I am creating contact with the ground and using friction to help me, and every little bit that I manage to generate force and open, I use it as a fixed point, so that if Kevin tries to close his arm right now, it's going to be very difficult, and I'm not just having to try and muscle him the whole time. We're not using our fingers. This doesn't actually work. I need to be keeping my entire hand in contact with the ground. And I'm not trying to just use my arm versus his. I am generating force with the proper base that we talked about in the first video, where I'm able to actually drive and use my whole body. So instead of just trying to curl him, I'm going to be using my whole body from here to drive and generate a lot of force with my back right leg to transfer force into my right arm to open him up. And the more I can open up his elbow, the more successful I'm going to be in affecting his structure and creating vulnerability.